Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Hello, Mr. Addies. Welcome to today's Microsoft Flight Simulator live stream. Just finish all the administrative duties before we get going. There we are. All right. Welcome. So today we are going to be in the Cessna Citation Longitude, this executive jet, basically. We're going from Tucson, Arizona to Jacksonville, Florida. Let's take this down to 38,000. Let's go 37, just to be, oops, not 3,700. No, 37,000. 3723. I hit the, that would be very low for that plane. Good morning, Chris. So anyway, let's get that set. So yeah, about 3.5, probably closer to 4 once we get everything started up and get going in the stream time, but the flight will be about 3.5 hours. So let's get in here, get everything set up. We'll advance the time once we get in there and get, good morning, Mick, and get the plane set up, and we'll be on our way. So happy to have you all here. So I fiddled around with this last night just to make sure I knew where everything was, so I think I remember from last night, so no, I think it's already daytime. Perfect. We don't even have to worry about it now. Excellent. We don't want them talking to ATC just yet. So let's get all this on, and we'll get some stuff set up, because what I've found is that the
oral warning, okay.
When you get the engine started, if you're pushing the buttons, it'll move the throttle, and we don't want that. So we'll get all of our stuff set up here.
TAWS systems test. Okay.
Change that to GPS. And we want to pull up the flight plan. It'll load here in a moment. Settings and option 3, home. Something else I wanted to do. Was it? I think we're set. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and get the engine started up, and then we'll call for our clearance.
Engine instruments. Power levers. Idle. Left engine run/stop button. Run. Left engine starter button. Engine instruments.
Should right, that should be it. Now I think I have to turn off the ignition, if I remember correctly. Some ignition buttons back there that that's why I keep getting those warnings. Start. There we go. All right, so we are all set. Going to get your haircut done. Oh, nice. Okay. Well, enjoy that. All right, let's talk to the ATC now, so we can get
Tucson clearance delivery Froggy 167 IFR to Jacksonville, ready to copy.
Froggy 167 is cleared to Jacksonville Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 11 left climb and maintain 15,000 feet. Departure frequency is 119 decimal 4 squawk tree 52 tree.
Froggy 167 cleared to Jacksonville Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 11 left climb and maintain 15,000 feet. Departure on 119 decimal 4 squawk tree.
I've been meaning to give myself a haircut, actually.
Froggy 167 read back correct. Contact ground on 124 decimal 4. Good day.
Alright. Want the vertical speed on. Get. Oh, I know what I was going to do. I forgot. I just remembered now. So we need to go. Oops. Let's go ahead and minimize that for right now. Go home. App settings? No. Where did I find it yesterday? Procedures? Nope. Found it yesterday. Where did I find it under? It was under performance something. Was it speed bugs? Maybe that's what it was. There it is. Okay. See, you operate those buttons. Good morning, Crankman. Good morning, Amela. Oh, you broke your vacuum cleaner's exhaust filter lid, kinda. Oh, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. Okay, so basically what we're going to do is our runway is right over to our left. If that makes any sense. Let's get all our lights on. We'll go for taxi. So we don't have very far to go for takeoff. That's the good thing. So, alright, I think we are set to go for our west, well, if I can get this to open up.
Tucson ground, Froggy 167 with Kilo ready to taxi IFR.
Froggy 167 taxi to and hold short of runway 11 left using taxiway Alpha Echo. Contact tower on 118 decimal tree when ready.
Taxi to and hold short runway 11 left via taxiway Alpha Echo Froggy 167.
You can go ahead and request pushback.
Tucson ground, Froggy 167 requesting pushback.
Froggy 167 pushback request accepted.
We'll just go back a little bit. We're just going to cut right. We're just going to kind of cut across, even though we're not supposed to. We're not going to go all the way zigzagging through all that to get to our. It seems to be a waste of time, so.
Tucson ground, Froggy 167 requesting the end of pushback.
Froggy 167 request to end pushback received.
So what happens was I was using a knife to get the lid open because it was stuck closed and I accidentally broke one of the screws. One screw is back in my vacuum, so I hope I don't break my turn. Oh, that is, yeah, because if it gets stuck in something, you can do more damage, obviously. Alright, I think we are all set. Any new exhaust filters? Yeah, I remember a lot of those. Yeah, if it gets too clogged up, all that stuff will could easily catch fire if it's not cleaned out or whatever, or the filter's not changed. Kind of like the lint catcher and the dryers. If you don't clean out not only the filter but down in the tube as well that takes it to the filter, it may invariably catch on fire as well, so. Mr. Addies is very excited about his haircut today. Nothing wrong with that, Joseph. Nothing wrong with that at all. I've been meaning to give myself a haircut, but just sometimes it's more of a pain to do on my own.
Tucson Tower Froggy 167 ready for IFR departure runway 11 left.
Froggy 167 altimeter 30.09er wind 141 at 8. Cleared for takeoff runway 11 left.
Alright, so we got...
Cleared for takeoff runway 11 left. Froggy 167.
Everything is right next to each other, if I remember correctly. There's autopilot and nav. Perfect. Right next to one another. Or I can just hit the Y button, activate the autopilot, and then just hit the nav button, and then we're on the way. Well, yeah, like any kind of anything that either takes the stuff to the filter or whatever. I think if there's a buildup in there, that could easily catch fire as well. But I could be wrong. I just know in the dryers that was something. Some of the older dryers, that was a concern, that if you didn't clean out not only the filter or the lint collector, but even if you didn't try to clean out that tube, it could build up and it could cause a fire in some of the older ones. Chris. Well, at least it's Friday, so we'll get it in the air and we'll get some stuff going. I do have one flight already that was I've helped somebody get that together, so let's get that out the way. We won't need that. Now this does have an auto throttle. Let's get that. Oop. It won't let me. I think I have to be in the air and then I can engage the auto throttle. So we'll go ahead and get that going. Once we're in the air. One of the main screws I broke, but the other two are... yeah. I don't know why that's happening, but... Alright, away we go.
Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear.
on.
Landing gear. Landing gear.
I thought I did the landing gear. Guess not.
Froggy
Oop.
167, contact Tucson departure on 119.4.
No, we don't need the landing gear. Oh, because I got the flaps down to 15 degrees. That's probably why. All right, we're on our way.
Froggy 167 is passing 4,000 feet, climbing 15,000 feet.
Froggy 167, Tucson departure altimeter 30.09. Continue to burrow as planned.
We're on our way. This jet can be a bit difficult sometimes, but we're on our way. Ooh, I gotta get the auto throttle on. There we go. Perfect. So we don't go speeding too much. Oh no, I'm fine, Amela. No, I'm good. I'm fine. Everything's good. So, well, I woke up. Well, so we got a little bit of snow last night. Not a significant amount. It's probably maybe an inch, if even that. And so about 3:30 this morning or so, 3:30 this morning, the trucks were already plowing the street in front of my apartment. So I heard that. So that was a bit, yeah. It kind of woke me up a little bit earlier. I did go to bed kind of early last night. I was pretty tired for some reason, so I just went ahead and yeah, I would agree with that, Crankman. It sounds like it would be. So yeah. Well, no, I'm fine. I woke up a little bit early and I tried to go back to sleep, but they were going back and forth, you know. So I was like, I just gave up and got out of bed at about 4 this morning. So I just been, you know, just doing my own thing.
Froggy 167 Albuquerque, center altimeter 30.09. Continue to VEYLE as planned.
Oops, what is that for? The what? I can't even see what that is. What have I left on that needs to be off? I can't even see what that says. I kept getting a warning. Okay, I guess it's dealt with.
Froggy 167 climb and maintain flight level 250.
250, all right.
Climb and maintain flight level 250, Froggy 167.
We can do that. We have the technology for that. Let's see. Let's go. Let's go 250. At least so we can get up there in altitude. Why? What is it? I don't know what I've left on or forgotten to turn off or whatever. It keeps giving me that, and I don't know what it is that's causing it. Because I can't never see it in time. So once it beeps again, I'm just gonna try to see it before, so I can try to figure out.
167, please expedite your climb flight level 250.
Oops. I forgot to dial the vertical speed up. Corey the French. Have a bag filter and a hose filter. When you have a commercial, you have to check the hose bags. Yeah, I would think so. That sounds probably about right. I would think. I could be wrong. So what would it be that's on that needs to be off? Alright, I think we're pretty much on our way. We're good to go. We'll get up to 380 and then we'll cruise along and we'll be on. So we're going to climb. Let's get the flight plan open. Scroll down so that we can see where we're at along the way. So anyway, I think we are good to go. Side here. So I just tried to pick a kind of a brighter livery for today. So something easy to spot or whatever. We've got a bit of a tailwind, so that's helping us. That's for sure. We've got a 53 knot tailwind. Ooh, that will definitely be nice. No, wait. 238, we're going... Oh no, we don't have a tailwind. We have a crosswind, but it's not really affecting us, thankfully. So, let's see. I think there was a button for the map range. There it is. Let's have a look. Is what? 15. We want to go back. There we go, perfect. All right. I'm typing faster than my brain can think, so I have sloppy... It's all right, Crankman. Don't worry about it. It's all good. It's morning time, you know. Lots of people are still waking up. It's fine. No worries at all. Now, the other day when I was kind of tinkering around here, I cannot go past this curtain here. It's like it's a solid wall. So I can't go back into the cabin. I don't think it's rendered in at all anyway. So, yeah, can't have a look around the cabin or anything, or you know, in the passenger compartment or whatever. So anyway, sad seeing 100-year-old vacuums on eBay for sale. As much as I want to buy them, it's just not worth it. Well, I don't know if it's not worth it. I would, you know, that's kind of. I don't know that that's necessarily the right way to view it, but I don't know. I mean, there's people who buy 100-year-old watches and fix them up. So I guess it depends on how much time and money you have to be able to invest in something like that. And if you're if people are going to buy the, if you fix them up, is somebody going to buy them? That's the thing. Oops. So anyway, all right, so we have one flight already scheduled for the 4th, going from London City to Manchester. So that's one flight. So if somebody, because we're, I just want to get this ahead of time now for the 4th. If somebody has a short flight, if you haven't given me one before, this is your opportunity. I need the departure airport and the arrival airport, that 4-letter code. If you're not sure what it is, just tell me like the general city area and I can try to find it, and then we can go from there and I can figure out what plane to fly to do that flight for you. So give me, if anybody wants to do it now, give me a departure airport and arrival airport, and I'll look at that and we'll figure out what we can do for that flight. Now, the flight that I already have planned is about an hour and a half long, so if somebody can find one about an hour long, we can knock out 2 on the 4th. So so if you're not sure, just give me at least a city area, but if you can't find the airport code, that's fine. I'll see what we can do. So all right, so what is your home airport, Frank? I've got a Cessna 172. That's not a problem. So what is your home airport code, or what is the airport name? I'll see if I can't find it. Now the problem is, like we, kind of going back to the flight I did on Wednesday with Captain Arish. The landing strip and everything might be there, but it may not necessarily be in the sim. Like I may not be able to find it. Like I can't plug it in and be like, okay, there it is. So I may have to find a closer airport or somewhere near to that. So if you can give me your home airport name at least, I'll start looking at that information. So I'll figure out the plane, but that's not a problem. I can do a Cessna 172. So if you can give me your home airport name, or if you can find the code for me, Crankman, we'll see what we can find for you. Okay. Harrison, Ohio. Okay. Let me take a look here. That's not a problem. Let's go Harrison. Said it's near. So that would be. Okay, here it is, Cincinnati West.
Foggy 167 climb and maintain flight level 370.
All right, going to 370. That's our cruising altitude. Oops. Let's dial up some speed first, and then we'll go ahead and get a little bumpy here. Okay. Wow, very bumpy. We gotta get above this.
Froggy 167, please expedite your climb flight level 370.
Well, I just got it. Gee whiz. Can I dial my stuff in first there, please, and thank you? Goodness gracious. Okay, so Harrison, Ohio, so that is KI-67. Okay. I gotta go to school. It was nice talking. Okay, I'll find it and we'll make that happen for you. So take care. Enjoy the rest of your day, Crankin. We'll see you later. Actually, let's get all this out of the way. I-67. Cincinnati West. Going to, let's zoom in there. Alright, let's see, where can we go from there? Is that it? No, it's not it. 67. Oh, there it is. So, let's see, where can we go from there? Let's try that. Okay, I think I can do that. Go ahead and switch this to Mach now. Alright, so we're heading on...
Froggy 167, contact Albuquerque Center on 128.2. Good day.
128.2 for Froggy 167. Albuquerque Center, Froggy 167, flight level 370.
Froggy 167.
So we almost have a...
Continue to Darcy's plan.
We almost have a tailwind, so that's good. Alright, so 172, we are going from 67, and that is Cincinnati West. That is Shelbyville, Municipal. Okay, we'll just do that VOR to VOR. Perfect. Okay, there we go. We have our 2 flights for the 4th. Excellent. And then we'll talk about the 11th and the 18th. We'll do that. Those are 2 flights. We'll pick one for the 11th on the 4th, the first flight, and then we'll pick the second flight for the 18th during the second flight. So there we go. So we are squared away for that day. Perfect. Okay, Mela. That's fine. No worries. Do your thing. It's all good. Okay. Do what you gotta do. It's all good. So, alright, so we are set for the 4th then. 1 flight in the UK and 1 flight in America. Excellent. And 2 different planes. I don't remember... Where did I say was going to be the... Oh, I know what it was. I think I knew the plane. I should have written it down. Oh, it's alright, I'll figure it. I think it was a prop plane or something. Should be a fun little flight. Thank you all for the 5 thumbs up. Greatly appreciated. So this plane, initially when I flew it, it's a handful to fly manually. Like, if the speed is just ridiculous. So, yeah. So let's take a look at something here. Cessna Citation Longitude. What is the cruising speed? Cruise speed of long range cruise speed of 454. So we're right there. Okay, perfect. We're right where we need to be. Excellent. Excellent. one of the things I do enjoy doing is kind of getting getting things kind of, you know, getting to grips with the plane and trying to figure out how to make things work and whatnot. So yeah, we're doing very well, I think. Though now, well, it seems like we got a bit of cold air here. First, when I looked back, it seemed like all this was going to be snow covered, and then when I checked again, it was like, no, it's just a thin layer of clouds there. It's kind of giving a little bit of haze, but it's really weird. Like, we're in this big ring of, there's no clouds, but there's like we're like in this big hole in the clouds or something. Crazy. Alright, we've got some business taken care of for next Friday. I like it. Good stuff. Alright, tomorrow, Spitfire Saturday, we're going from Jackson Bedgar Willie Evers International Airport in Mississippi to Nashville, Tennessee. So, good stuff there. We'll do the startup, taxi out, take off, head over there, land. Hopefully nice and easy. Sunday. So I totally forgot. I think last time Josh was in the stream, I had said I was going to do, what's it called? Clinchfield. So I'm going to find a short service, kind of something that shouldn't take very long to do on Sunday for Clinchfield. The following Sunday will be on, we'll do a ride on the Peninsula Corridor. So Clinchfield on Sunday, and then we'll go flying around the Miami coast up to Palm Beach for our little scenic flight. And then Monday, we are in the King Air 350i going from Ogden to Rock Springs. Tuesday, staying with the 350i Rock Springs to Rollins. Wednesday, I mean. Tuesday, no flight on Tuesday. Wednesday, we're going to do Rock Springs to Rollins. And then Thursday is Rollins to Laramie. So we're gonna jump from airport to airport basically each time. So no flight on the first. Second, we'll do that a little bit later in the morning. So, or I'll look at the flights over the weekend. That flight on Wednesday, we may just get started at 6, so we can get the flight knocked out. Not super early, not super late, but we'll get that knocked out, and then we'll be done for the day. And then I can get out of here because I got 2 appointments, one on Tuesday, one on Wednesday. So if it's going to be, like a couple hours long for that flight, I will push it back till when I get home from my appointment. I'll try to get home as quickly as I can. But no flight on the first. So just remember that. Put it in your calendar if you have to. Make a note somewhere in your executive diary. So, all right, let's look at let's have a look at our destination. What's the weather like at our destination? 3024, shallow fog. We're coming in on runway, it was 26. So we have a wind blowing south. Oh, actually there is no wind right now. Scattered clouds at 600 feet. Landing IFR or ILS, so we should be fine. Good stuff. We are good to go. We'll look at our, as we get closer. We'll look at our weather update to make sure we've got an idea of what the altimeter reading is going to be. A little bit bumpy here again. Just a little bump. Not coming over any mountains. We're basically heading south, you know, kind of. We're heading east, but we should be turning more southeast here. I think we've got a good jet stream behind us. It should be a fairly good flight, I would think. But we've got it's like we're not flying straight across. We got that little bit of an angle because of that wind, but it's all good. Let's see what else. Can't think what else. Darn it! Yesterday I remembered what story time was going to be about, and then I forgot again. What was we talking about? Would have been perfect for this because we do have a bit of time just to kill. Was it going to be about something? It wasn't privates. It was something to do with. Is it students? Oh, wait. It was... Remember, Paul said something in mixed chat a couple days ago. I said you'd be surprised.
Froggy 167, contact Albuquerque Center on 132.65. Good day.
Oh.
Going to 132.65, Froggy 167.
I should have written it down yesterday when I remembered what it was.
Froggy 167, flight level 370.
Froggy 167, Albuquerque Center, continue to RIO as planned.
As a matter of fact, I think it was last week when Mick, when you and Pulse were doing, or maybe, I don't know if you were doing the F1 career mode last week, or maybe it was earlier this week when you did the career race. Paul said something and I was like, oh yeah, that'd be a good story time. Now it's gonna bug me until I figure out what it is. Yeah, it was, Mick. I think it was when you and Pulse were... It wasn't like the multiplayer one. I think it was when you and Pulse were doing the career mode when you're both driving for Williams. Oh... I should have written it down yesterday. Because I woke up, I was like... Or even yesterday afternoon, I was like, what was the thing that we were going to talk about? Because my mental health provider and I were talking about it, and I was like, oh yeah, that's what I was going to talk about with story time. I should have made a note of it, and I was like, okay, I'll remember again, because it was like, yeah, I remember now. Yeah, I should have written it down. Ugh. True airspeed of 449 knots. Ground speed of 550 knots. So we're going pretty good clip here. So Yeah, Pulse had said something, and I was like,
Contact Albuquerque Center on 135.875.
it wasn't anything to do with the military. It was something to do with...
135.875 for Froggy 167. Albuquerque Center, Froggy 167, flight level tree
I need...
70.
it's like I gotta have a notepad with me at all times, otherwise I'm gonna forget a lot of things.
Continue to delete as planned.
No. I hate that. It's not inoperative. Oh, good lord. Yes, that's what it was. Yes, thank you. Yes. Okay, so... yes, thank you. That's what it was. Because I was telling him about the... that I'm going to help out with the Student Film Festival coming up here pretty soon. So anyway, yes. So what happened was, I think it was spring of 2019, and my radio production instructor, they needed some folks to go up to Syracuse because they have this program called BOCES. Now it's a educational program. Let me pull up the acronym so I know what it is. It is the it is called the Boards of Cooperative Educational Services. That's what BOCES stands for. So what they do is they have a lot of different programs. Whether you're a young person or you're, post high school and you're looking for like a career thing, right? They have all these programs. So basically what BOCES does is they have like a regional final. And so what they do is you have all, like, for instance, film production, right? And that's what I judged. The students drive up, like they go the night before, they get to their hotel, and then they're given the instructions for the next day, right? This is what we want to see in order for your film to be judged as complete, and then you're going into the running for a national level sort of competition. So they have like filmmaking, they have like game design, robotics, cooking, all kinds of stuff. And basically you have, within each area, you have a set of criteria that has to be met, right? So like for the film, it has to be this long, and it has to cover these themes. And you have basically, once the thing starts, they have pretty much the whole morning and maybe even till the early afternoon to complete their project and then turn it in. So they have to film, edit it, and then and do everything that within the confines of that of what we're looking for, and in order for it to be judged as really well. So you can tell, and kind of like what we were talking about with the student film work we'll be viewing, or have viewed previously with the Student Film Festival, you can see who puts the work in, who really makes the effort, and who basically is like, I really didn't care. I'm just here because I got a day off from school and I got to travel a little bit and stay somewhere different or whatever. So in 2019, it was held at the Syracuse Fairgrounds. So we were in this huge, like, fair building. You know, it's like usually in most state fairs or whatever, you have like these huge buildings that has food. It has all kinds of booths that you can buy products from, or, you know, like somebody who does like, you know, installing new windows at your house that are like energy efficient and stuff like that. You know, all kinds of stuff. So we were just it was this huge building. And so, you know, we got there kind of early. We said, you know, we just basically waited, and then the students finally start showing up and everything. And now the rules are the instructor for each program can be there, but they cannot offer any advice, and they cannot talk to us directly about we're not supposed to know who their students were. They cannot tell us who their students are to make sure that everything is judged fairly. You know, we don't want to know who's who and whatnot. The students aren't, they can ask us questions, but they cannot ask for advice. Like, you know, if they say, well, I'm not sure about this, hey, you got your instructions, do the best you can. We cannot tell you anything. You know, you're supposed to know all this. You're the expert, so to speak. And so there was some really good work, because they can't go anywhere. They have to use the fairgrounds as their location. And you could tell the students, they found interesting things that fit the theme of what we were looking for. And there were some students who they put in no real effort. Their editing was just atrocious. They didn't check any of the boxes as far as what they were supposed to do. And it's just like, wow, you know, you're here and you're competing. Why didn't you put at least a little bit more effort in there just to try and say, hey, I didn't win, but I turned in some quality work? It's like they just couldn't be bothered. But the cool thing was, this woman who's a anchor for Spectrum News, which is our internet provider, but they also have a news station. And so she was like an evening anchor or something. And so she came in. So it was a win-win for her and for Spectrum News, because they got the coverage of the event, and then she also judged the films and all that. She was really nice. Tammy Palmer is her name. I don't know if she still works for them or not, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. And we were all set to go for the spring of 2020, and then obviously the pandemic happened, and then everything basically went downhill from there. But it was really cool. Some of the students were really on the ball. They really put in the hard work, and you could tell when the dynamic of it's only two students working together, and you can tell who works well together and when there's conflict. Because when there's conflict, you can see very clearly that the work being done is not very good, because there wasn't good communication between the two. So, but yeah, it was really interesting, really good stuff. And even with the student film festivals, you could tell again who put in a lot of effort to make something that they felt would be something great to enter into and a lot of times the instructors will pressure this, you know, like, enter this in the student film festival, it's going to be great. You know, I think you have a chance. And a lot of students, they're not looking for that notoriety, I guess. Nice, Joseph. Welcome back. They're not really concerned about that. They just want to get through the class. They're just taking it because they thought it would be a fun class, but it's a lot of work, you know, because you have to shoot, you have to edit, you have to make sure, you know, the lighting's good, the sound's good, all those things. You have your titles, and, you know, you're doing all the gee whiz bang stuff like the fade in and fade out, and, you know, all those things. But a lot of times it's difficult because they don't manage their time very well. So, but yeah, it was really cool. And we got, I think they had like a buffet lunch. It was like hamburgers, hot, like easy stuff to fix. So we got to eat for free. They provided all the food, so we'd go over there and just hang out, eat, and then. But we were there like all day until the evening. We didn't get back here until like 9 o'clock at night. We were there. It was like a very long day, and I had to, because I was a student at the time and also an employee. I had to ask my instructors, who I had classes with that day. I had to ask them for permission. Like, hey, I've been asked to go do this. Is it going to be a problem? Is there anything? There's no quizzes or tests or anything that I need to be aware of that I have to reschedule. They were like, nope, just get the notes from other students or whatever, if necessary, and that was it. So I got a free day off out of it, kind of, but it was a lot of work. We were there like quite a long time, and yeah, I was really tired by the time I got home. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. So that's what it was. Thank you, Mick, for reminding me. 'Cause I would have been like, oh, why? What was it that we did? What was happening? So yeah, that's what it is. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing what the students have on offer for the film festival this year. And then, if they, I think, because some of the students whose work is really quality, there was a student who did, the community college I went to, one of the students went and filmed, like they went down to Florida to, it was like a science thing. And it just turned out kind of, like some of the kids got down there and they were all excited at first, but then it kind of fell apart. Like they were interested more in goofing around than they were about doing the work, So it was all kind of caught on film. So, but yeah, I think he entered that, and then because of that, he got work on another documentary or something like that. So, yeah, a lot of students, if they're really passionate about it, you can tell. But some students, they're like, can't be bothered. So, yeah. Thank you, Nick. Appreciate that. You're a gentleman and a scholar. I don't care what anybody else says. £15. So let's see. What is that in American dollars? Just out of curiosity. £15 dollars. You pay $20.08 in US dollars, Joseph. That is a bit expensive for a haircut in America. I'm not gonna lie. Usually that's I pay if I go to a place. No, okay. They have a. Oh, you're welcome, Nick. Thank you. So, yeah, there's a place at the mall. Usually, I think it's Wednesdays or something. They had a day where it was like $10 for a haircut. So most people would wait for that day to go get a haircut. So, but that's that's $10 for the haircut, and I'd leave maybe like $3 or $4 for the tip. So even then, it's still cheaper than what you paid. I guess for there, I'm guessing that's a good deal. I don't know. So I could be wrong. Alright, so let's scroll down here just so we have an eye on our flight plan. So we're looking for, we still got quite a bit of ways to go here. You got £5. So you had £20 note, and so you gave them 15. Now, does that include the tip, or how does that work? Is it all inclusive, or do you pay like £10 and you left them a £5 tip or something? I don't know how it works there in the UK. Ooh, looks like a little bit. We entering some. I don't know where we're at right now. They said we're talking to Fort Worth Center, so I'm guessing we're somewhere over Texas. Huh. Interesting. So we are. We are on a course of 078. And the wind is coming from almost, so we almost have a tailwind. Pretty, kind of, sort of, but we're still kind of, it's a little bit of a crosswind, but yeah, not too bad actually. So yeah, we're doing pretty good. Oh, yeah. So, but I haven't, it's been months since I've been to an actual barber shop or anything to get my hair cut. I just been doing it myself. But it's, you know, when it starts to grow out, I have this kind of a, I guess, I don't know if, some people call it a cowl. Like on the, right on the, we're not oh, okay. Ah, interesting. Yeah, here it's like, it's not so much, I guess it's kind of expected, but it's also like, if you, in America, if you get really good service and you don't leave a tip, then people will just be like, wait, that was really excellent service, why are you not, you know? So yeah, some people are very, they don't want to leave a tip, and they just like, hey, you know, I got the service, and they're getting a paycheck, so not my problem. But no, if it's really good, and usually, because when I'm usually gone, it's first thing in the morning, so they haven't really got a lot of business yet. So I'm like, you know, let's just start the day off pretty good. I'll give them like $3 or $4 just to, you know. So if it's really good, I'll even go 5. Or like a holidays, I may give 5 just because it's the holidays. And all that. So look at this fancy phone up here, basically. I guess that's more for like announcements, the cabin or whatever. I don't know. But it does look like a phone. Look at one of those cell phones that you had in the cars back in the day. It was like built in. Yeah, when my hair starts to grow out a little bit, it's really difficult to cut it on my own because that area just gets all kind of, it's very difficult to get all of it cleaned out or just cut at the right length and all that. So it takes me several passes with the clippers to get everything. Welcome back, Camilla. So now there is a nicer barbershop downtown that a lot of people have spoken very highly of, but it's a bit expensive. Like they'll even do like they'll shave your face. You know, you can get the whole shave thing, and you know, it's a bit posh, I guess. At restaurants, people leave tips. Okay, yeah, we do too. We do also, but it's things like a hairdresser or whatever. People usually leave a tip for them, but you hand it to them. You don't just leave it on the table. You pay, because usually the person who cut your hair will ring you up, and then you can, or if you pay like with your debit credit card, you can say, they'll say, do you want to leave a tip? Yeah. Or if you're like, no, but I'll you know, you give them the cash instead. So, which I think a lot of them prefer, because then they just, you know, they can put it in their tip collection or whatever, or put it in their pocket, and then they tally it all up at the end of the day. You know, maybe that for them, that's their gas money, or maybe some food money or whatever. Because I know I've worked jobs. I was a bus boy at a coffee shop a long time ago, and usually you didn't get tips. Sometimes you get tips directly, but usually if you help the waiter or waitress, whatever, the server, and the service was really good, then most people will be like, they'll leave extra, and you know, then sometimes the server will share that with you, and other times it's like they can't be bothered. So, I need to take my vitamin. Hold on just a second. Oh, Amela is back. Yeah. So yeah, sometimes you could bust your butt, and then the servers won't share the tips, and it's kind of like, wow, you know, it makes you feel kind of unappreciated. So when I had a newspaper route, was don't eat yellow snow. It didn't go down well, Chris. So yeah, like when I had a newspaper route, you know, when I went to collect the bill at the end of the month or whatever, you know, most people would, you know, they would give me a check for that I would have to turn into the person who oversaw like the routes in the area, and then they would, you know, sometimes give me a couple of dollars for a tip because I'd always get the paper right on the porch for them, so they didn't have to walk outside too far to get their paper and all that. When I worked at the hospital, if there was times I'd take patients to their cars or whatever, and there was one time a woman, I took her to her car, and she reached in. I said, "Ma'am, I can't." She said, "Just take it." And I'm like, okay. But it was only like $2. So, but yeah, they don't want you to take gratuity for taking a patient to their car. They're like, that's, you know, you're just doing your job. It's not a, you know. But some people feel very, you know, they want to at least give you something to say thank you. So, but yeah, traditionally we weren't supposed to accept gratuity from a patient if we took them to their car. I guess we'll scroll down once the next. It might just be doing it on its own. We haven't seen. We're still cooking along here pretty good. We haven't seen the our destination. Did you get a return on that tip? I did make it. It wasn't very nice. There you go. But it's true. You don't. That's a good tip. Don't eat the yellow snow. It's always a good tip. You know, don't pee into the wind. That's also a good tip. You know, use your own tips, Claude. Yeah. So yeah, we're not halfway yet. We haven't seen our marker for Jackson. Oh, there it is. It's just peeking over the horizon there. I stand corrected. So it looks like 1, 2. So we still got quite a bit to go. I think about 900 nautical miles or so. We'll see that marker, and then we'll just keep counting down the distance. Just take those little bites out of the distance, and we'll be there before we know it. So this has gone pretty well. I appreciate everybody coming in and hanging out. A little executive jet here. Something different, something nice to do. So, alright, so that one's a huge 62 nautical miles. So there's a couple that are spread out and then will be bunched together. So we're looking for our arrival point is Marco, M-A-R-K-O, or M-A-R-Q-O, I'm sorry, is our arrival portion, and then we'll start descending, and we'll put her on the ground, nice and easy, hopefully. I was just about to mention about peeing in the wind.
Froggy 167, contact Fort Worth Center on 127.45.
Yeah, that's good advice.
Good day.
And, you know, when I was in the military and you're in the field, and that's you know, you're out, especially when you're out like in Kansas, there's nothing to block the wind, and so you're like, you gotta go, and it's like you gotta try to find an area around the vehicle but not too close, because you don't want that stuff just being right around where you're at, but you need something to block the wind. But then, you know, or you're like, okay, there's no wind, and as soon as you go, that's when the wind kicks up. You're, oh man, what? Yeah, that's true too. That is very good. That is true as well. You don't want to get sick into the wind, because if you do, if you're going to have to get sick of the wind, you better get as low to the ground as possible without being right in it, because otherwise it's going to be worse. So get into a ditch if you have to, or you know. Anyways, good stuff. Let's see whether. Let's come on. Oh, Addies, you and your sensitive stomach. Oh, the stories I can tell you. Oh man, I so want to, just to make you go. Ugh. Oh. I know one story. I can guarantee you one story I can tell you would make you so sick to your stomach, and it's just the description alone does it. It's not that you're seeing anything or smelling anything, just the description alone will get you. I promise you. And I love telling that story just to make people get all squeamish. It's good times. Where, you know, there's an episode of The Office when Pam and Jim were expecting their first child, and Pam was like, you know, can people kind of, my stomach's very sensitive, so can some folks make some changes to their, you know, like she asked Phyllis, can you not wear this perfume because it really upsets my stomach? And Dwight was eating his hard-boiled eggs at his desk. So, oh, it's the best. I love watching that scene because it's just like a chain reaction. Oh man. And I think that was a fun thing about being a medic. You knew, you would always tell stories. You're like, oh, remember this one time, or when I was deployed here, or this one time somebody came into the clinic, and you know, and you're just talking about different experiences, right? But part of it too is, you know, somebody might be listening, and you know they're going to listen, and they're going to start getting like, and you just keep going because you don't care. You really don't. And that was, I guess, that was one of the benefits. There was a lot of benefits to being a medic, but when people crossed you in some way, shape, or form, that was your revenge. So, yeah. It's one of the few things I really miss about being a medic. Put gel on your... Oh, Mr. Addies, aren't you all posh? Check you out. I'm dressed up and know where to go. Good old days, good times. Jill, to stop your hair from running away. There you go.
127.45 for Froggy 167. Fort Worth Center, Froggy 167, flight level 370.
Froggy 167, Fort Worth Center, continue to Tango, Quebec Alpha as planned.
It's down the list here for sure. Yep, there. So we're just plugging along here. Ooh, look at that, 189 miles distance to our next marker. Ooh-wee. That's a big distance. That's a big one. The wife does my hair, that's why I wear a cap. Well, I would think that if Doris and I were in the same location, if I needed a haircut, she'd be happy to do it. You need gel. Yeah, you need jelly. That's what you're talking about, Amela. But yeah, I think she would, because I just told her, just take it, just, you know, here's the guard, and just, yeet, it's all good. So, you feel so much better now that you had a haircut. Got your hair all done up. You need some new trainers. And all that. You'll be ready for a night on the town, huh? It's all good. I remember, I mean, shoot, when I was especially when I was in Germany, if you do like on a 3-day weekend, for instance, Thursday or like Friday morning, everybody would be over at the barber shop getting a fresh haircut. It was like that day or the day before you got paid, so it was like a long weekend or something. So I look good for the ladies. Look good for the ladies. That's right. Yeah, that's what we do. We'd go to the barber shop and get our hair cut, go back, maybe take a little nap in the afternoon, and then by evening time, we were set to go. We'd be downtown and at a party tonight. Oh, Addies. Oh boy. Don't tell me you're going to the pub and getting lit up. But yeah, we were set to go. That was part of the plan. Go get your haircut. That way, come Monday morning, you were already squared away. You didn't have to like worry about it over the weekend.
Froggy 167, contact Fort Worth Center on 127
Oh, we are talking to Fort Worth Center quite a bit. Another tip, Addies, don't stand near a flame with Joe, otherwise you might not. Yeah, that's true too.
Fort Worth Center, Froggy 167, flight level 370.
That is true too.
Fort Worth Center, continue as planned.
Oh, Addies. There's better ways to spend your money, quite honestly. Or you just put it in the... What little buffet there is, yes, Amela would probably devour it all. Once in a while is okay, but you've been frequenting the pub quite a bit. But it's your life, it's your choice. It is what it is. But yeah, I that was one thing I regret is not in all the travel opportunities I had available to me when I was in Germany, for instance, I didn't take advantage of them. Plus I've got the window cleaner. What? What are you talking about? The window cleaner. That doesn't make any sense, Addies. Would you care to elaborate on that? It doesn't sound... You've got the window cleaner coming today. That's one of my biggest regrets, is I just didn't, it was okay to party, but I partied too much, and got the window, I mean, your where you live, your family's got the window cleaner coming today to clean the windows. Not you specifically. Well, I don't know. The window cleaner is coming to your house, basically, what you're saying. Boy, all kinds of Fort Worth Center today. Look at this. Goodness gracious.
135.375, Froggy 167. Fort Worth Center, Froggy 167, flight level 370.
Oh, we were just cruising right along here. Yeah. No, Miller, that's... Addies, you're giving folks all kinds of material to work with. 152, 553. Yeah, we're doing pretty good. Don't show the window cleaner your mop. In bad. No. Window cleaner might get jealous of the mop.
Froggy 167, contact Fort Worth Center on 127.15. Good day.
What in the
127.15
world?
for Froggy 167. Fort Worth Center, Froggy 167, flight level 370.
Froggy 167, Fort Worth Center, continue to Jaxie as planned.
In a couple minutes, we're going to talk to another center. We're going to go back and forth. I think we're talking between two different centers for Fort Worth. We've just been bouncing between the two. I think. I could be wrong, but it's either 2 or 3 that we've been talking to this whole time. Yes. Mr. Adams being here used to be a rare sight. Yes, Amela, absolutely. I would agree with that. You were so invested in that other person at ease that you did not. It's like you just went off the radar. But I get it. You know, when you think you're in love and getting all tender and stuff, you do things that you normally wouldn't do. And you forget sometimes about your friends. But that happens, it's okay. You know. So, but I am happy to have you back. Absolutely. Happy to see you doing better, feeling better. Those are important things. And when people don't, I guess, how can I say it? When people don't like you feeling better, that's not a good thing. You know? When somebody's trying to keep you down, that's not a good relationship to be in. You know? I think I've told this story before, but since we've had story time already, I might as well tell this story again if you haven't heard it before. Years ago, when I worked for a company that we did the in-car navigation maps, and I think we'd been bought by Sony or not yet, but anyway, we had like a shift party just for our little area, you know, because there was different areas, you know, like we were assigned like part of the South, and that was where all of our work was focused on, in updating the roadways and all that kind of stuff for the map navigation system. But we went to I think it was Pismo Beach there on the coast of California, and you know, we had somebody brought a volleyball net, and you know, I think a couple of people brought little grills and stuff, and hot dogs and hamburgers and whatnot. And, you know, we were just kind of chilling, you know, throughout the day. And one of my coworkers, he was telling the story. He was a DJ, like on the weekends, whether it was weddings or, you know, he could find work at a club or whatever for a couple of nights and whatnot. And, so, and that's how he met his girlfriend at the time. And I think she might have been his fiancée eventually, but that's how they met. And so she didn't want him to DJ anymore, because she was like, oh, that's how I met you, and I don't want you to be out there anymore because you might meet somebody else. And that's just her being insecure about their relationship, basically. So he agreed to it, because he's like, okay, if it really means that much to you, I won't do it. Well, then he was miserable because he wasn't doing something he enjoyed. And she said, you know, it took me a while to realize, because he wasn't, basically she told him, you're not the same person that you were when I met you. Well, no kidding, because I'm not doing the things that I love to do. So she, you know, basically understood, and so the agreement was he could DJ, and then she would be kind of hanging in the booth just to kind of give the evil eye to any young women approaching the booth trying to catch his eye or whatever, which I still think is not good, but it is what it is. But yeah, when you give up the things that you love doing, as long as it's something you're, like DJing. A lot of people, I've known people who DJ, and they're very passionate about it. They love, getting people to dance. That they're really motivated by that. And, when you're not doing something you love, truly, yeah, you don't feel like yourself anymore. And that's not good. That's not a good relationship to be in at all. And sometimes you don't recognize it. You think that you're doing the right thing to make the other person happy, but you're giving up your happiness. And when somebody wants you to do that, it's not good. In any way, shape, or form. Whether it's a friend or a intimate relationship or whatever, that's not a good place to be in. So, there you go. La la la, boots on the table. Let's see, so if I don't know how to spell it today. There we go, another Fort Worth Center. I think those are, let's see if we can have a look at those markers there.
Fort Worth Center, Froggy 167, flight level 370.
Yeah, those are different kind of.
Fort Worth Center, continue to Jackson as planned.
I think those are different navigation markers there. I think those look like VOR markers. I think they are. Could be wrong. But anyway, yeah. Never allow your happiness to be compromised, because that person doesn't love you really at all. They're just trying to control you. And I'm very fortunate that Doris is not like that, If she sees something about me and says, well, maybe you should think about this, she doesn't present it in a way that is like, puts me down or whatever. It's just like, hey, have you ever thought about this? She presents it. Yeah, it's like, it makes you really take a step back and go like, oh, I didn't see that before. I'll be so happy once we get away from Fort Worth Center. It's all good.
Froggy 167. Fort Worth Center, Froggy 167, flight level 370.
Froggy 167, Fort Worth Center, continue to Jackson as planned.
We're just plugging along here. So I think we're roughly halfway or close to halfway to our destination. We're pretty close. Oh, that didn't sound good. Whatever that was. I'm very, very fortunate that Doris is part of my life. Couldn't be happier. Try not to shame you about it, basically. Yes. Yeah. Anybody who shames you for the things that you enjoy doing that are not, I can understand them being concerned if the things that you're doing is very unhealthy or whatever, but if it's something simple like DJing or reading a book or playing, and I know in some relationships the idea of playing video games is a touchy subject, but some people have found a way to include the other person in the gaming. They're like, hey, let's play this game together and let's see if you enjoy it. And they end up liking it. And they're like, oh, I never thought about this. But yeah, the things that you're doing that aren't like, harmful to you as a person or other people or whatever, just that you're just enjoying something. There's nothing wrong with that. And part of it too is as long as it's in, you know, it's in moderation, you know, not that you're playing video games and you're forgetting about the things that you said you would take care of around the house or whatever, you know. So, because those are I think legitimate criticisms sometimes, depending on how the person frames it. But if you're kind of like pretending not to know that you promised to take the garbage out, yeah, you're going to get called out for that, and rightfully so, I think. But, you know, if you're doing the things and there's some bliss in the household, then, hey, then do your thing, you know.
Froggy 167, contact Fort Worth Center on 126.725.
Can we talk to another center, please? I want to talk to Atlanta Center. Can we just talk to Atlanta Center finally?
725, Froggy 167.
Because I think that's where the next center we'll talk to.
Fort Worth Center, Froggy 167, flight
No,
level
we'll probably talk to
370.
Nashville.
Froggy 167 Fort Worth Center, continue to Jacksy as planned.
Or would it be Nashville or... No, it might be Atlanta. I don't know. I'll never want to be in a relationship where I have to lock myself in the bathroom. I've said it before and I'll say it again. If that's the only way you can get a moment's of peace, you're not in the right place. That's for sure. It is time to say, I think I'm going to pack my stuff and go. I'll call you sometime. Don't hold your breath. That's when you take some clothes and any toiletries you need, call a friend and say, hey, come pick me up. I need to get out of here. Because it's not worth hanging out. Because eventually that person's going to push your button and it's not going to end well. And I've known friends like that who've been in that situation, that they tried to be reasonable and then that person just kept poking at them. When they finally were like, screw it, I'm done, you know, they get angry and then that person's like, oh my God, now you're getting violent. You think? You know, you reckon? I didn't want to get there. It's kind of like the Incredible Hulk. Don't make me angry. Don't make me angry. And when the Hulk comes out, then all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, you're terrible. Well, what did you think was going to happen?
Going to 135.25, Froggy 167.
So,
Fort Worth Center, Froggy 167, flight level 370.
yeah.
Froggy 167, Fort Worth Center, continue as planned.
I can't remember if I saw the tailcoat. Wow, 193 miles to the next one. Ooh-wee, that's quite a ways there. We got another crosswind here. We got a good tailwind, I think, for a while there, but we're not too we're doing well, I think. So let's see, we've been streaming for about an hour 44. Yeah. So yeah, doing pretty good. Yeah. I think that's part of growing up too. You start to realize what you'll accept and what you won't in a relationship. But at first you're not sure. Because you're thinking, oh, I'm doing these things and the person's really happy with me. But deep down you know you're miserable. But you're willing to let that go. And that's never good. Not at all. Relationship advice brought to you by Amela. Amela, when you have food left over, give it to Amela. It will be gone in minutes. I remember, I think I was between relationships at one point, and I was like, you know, I was just like, what am I gonna do? And I finally, after a while, I was like, you know what? What I used to do is I go to work, and I'd always bring a book with me. Not necessarily to read it during work, but after work, what I would do is I'd go to a restaurant, you know, nothing really fancy or whatever, and I'd sit down and I'd order dinner, and I'd sit there and read my book and eat dinner. And I was very self-conscious about it at first, because I'm like, oh man, I'm going there by myself. I'm just going to look like a complete fool sitting there eating dinner and reading a book by myself. But after the first time, I was like, you know, why should I care what other people think? I'm doing something that I enjoy doing. I'm having a nice meal, you know, nothing too expensive or whatever, and I'm going to sit there and read my book. If people have a problem with that, that says more about them than it does me. So, always find something that you can enjoy doing. If you're not in a relationship, just say, you know, I think today I'm going to go watch a movie by myself. And you can watch any movie you want. Take your time, you know, going, you know, leaving the theater or getting to the theater or whatever. And just enjoy it. Enjoy that time. And, you know, because then people will, you're doing something and you're happy, and then people will be like, why is this person happy? What? Because you're doing something that you enjoy, you know. So, advise keep the fridge full. Yes, you want a melon to be happy, keep the fridge full. There you go. That's the best advice ever when it comes to a melon. Because you don't want a melon to be hangry in any way, shape, or form. Oh my goodness, you will regret it. We're just going along pretty good here. Good stuff. Good flight. Glad I chose this. This is going pretty well. This little nifty aircraft here. Oops. Sometimes it's hard, some lessons are hard to learn in relationships, that's for sure. It looks like we are cutting, I don't know if that's the, I don't think that's the, no, that's not the, I don't think we're close to that yet. I don't think we'll even get anywhere near it, but it looks kind of like it would be, but I think that's the case. Let's go to our map here. Let's zoom out a bit. And just have a look here. Oops, shoot. Wrong button. Wrong. Hit the wrong ambush side. I still got. I think that's one of the movies I gotta buy eventually. Because I love watching it. Outbreak Ridge. One of my favorite Clint Eastwood movies.
Good day.
135.1 for Froggy 167.
Because unfortunately, in the movie, there's this major who he gets assigned to a infantry battalion, I guess, and he's the commanding officer, and he's got this notion that he knows everything about being in the infantry, and he's a supply and logistics officer. So he has these wild notions, and Clint Eastwood, who's a gunnery sergeant, basically tells him, "No, sir, you're full of shit. You don't know a thing about a thing." Great movie. Great movie. I think this is a good opportunity to take a little break here for a moment. I will be right back in a few minutes, folks. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. Be right back. Alright, I am back, folks. I am going to have a little breakfast here. I got a bagel and some orange juice, so I'm going to kind of snack on that a little bit while we continue to fly. So I'm still here. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and put them in the chat. But I'm going to mute myself so you don't hear me eating at the same time.
Froggy 167, contact Houston Center on 134.8. Good day.
134.8 for Froggy 167. Houston Center, Froggy 167, flight level 370.
Froggy 167, Houston Center, continue as planned.
All right. Have me a little bagel and some orange juice. Feel re-energized. Let's have a look at
Froggy 167,
getting there.
contact Houston Center on
So at least for now we're talking to Houston instead of Fort Worth. Now we're going to get bounced all over Houston Center.
Going to 127.85, Froggy 167. Houston Center, Froggy 167, flight level 370.
Froggy 167, Houston Center, continue as planned.
Oh, much better. Much more good. To use improper English. Zoom out here to see what we got ahead of us a little bit, if we can. So we're going to turn to the left a bit and keep going, track along there, and keep making our way to Jacksonville, Florida. I've been there numerous times myself. Jacksonville area. Enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. They have a river area that has restaurants and a walking path along the river, and you can stroll along and have a nice evening there. Just Jacksonville is always a fun place to go. Matter of fact, my buddy in Vegas and I, when we were both there in Georgia and Savannah together, we were both stationed there. We used to go to Jacksonville quite a bit. That was the best place to go, just to get away from Savannah for a while. Not that we didn't like Savannah, but Jacksonville was always a lot more fun. Any other things that I can do to get things set up? I think so. We're pretty much good to go. Now, what I should have done, there is a timer here that you could use to time your flight, and I should have done that just to see if by the time we landed and pulled up to the gate and I stopped, or once we got on the ground, and then I'd stopped the timer because the flight was pretty much ended at that point, I guess, in theory, just to see how close it was to our flight time at the end when we stopped everything and shut everything down. So oh, thank you. 6 likes. Somebody snuck in and left a thumbs up. Somebody's lurking. Got a couple short distances between this point and to this point here, and I think the next one's a very short distance as well. Like we're pretty much going due east. Yeah, it's a fun little plane to fly. I'm glad this is working out so far. Knock on wood. Fake wood at that. So hopefully everybody's all set for the weekend. Everybody's got some hopefully good plans. Looks like we got the distance here, and then we have another one that's like from here to here. It's a pretty good chunk of distance. So we're just taking little bites at a time in the distance here. I'm pretty sure now we are past the halfway point, so kind of go over what we normally do. Eventually we'll start to see those reductions in altitude. We'll start to reduce those. We'll start to reduce our speed as well as we come out of our 370 flight level. Start slowing the plane down a little bit here and there, and then we will finish our arrival phase, and then we're going to turn. We're going to make, I think if I remember correctly, we're going to make a right turn to line up. And then once we get there, once we're lined up, I'm going to activate the approach just to make sure that we're set to go. I'm going to hit the approach button, and that should bring us in on the ILS, because I think there's an ILS and a localizer on that runway. So it should lock in on both, and we should be able to hit that glide slope right on in, put this thing on the ground, park it, and we'll be done. So the last quarter or so of the flight is coming up, including the ever so famous landing portion of the flight. So if you need to get your snacks, get your popcorn, get your drinks, take a little 15-minute cat nap. Part of the flight that everybody likes to see will be coming up eventually.
Froggy 167, contact Houston Center on 125.75.
So I think 527 nautical miles, that's about 600 something statute miles.
125.75, Froggy 167.
Oops.
Houston Center, Froggy 167, flight level 370.
Oops.
Froggy 167 Houston Center, continue to set as planned.
604. So basically, right, we're just below 604 statute miles to get to Jacksonville. So if we were driving in the car and you were averaging 70 miles an hour, it would take you let's see, so 6, 7, maybe 8 hours, roughly, depending on, you would have to stop along the way for sure, at least twice to get gas and take a bathroom break and all that, so. Food as well, stretch your legs. Yeah, we're making a good time, I think. I like this. I like the flight deck on this plane because it's got these, you have these very large screens that give you the information, and then you also have, you can set things up on this PDF over here, this little, basically like tablet, and then you have two other ones there. So, yeah, lots of good information that you can pull. Now, what I'd like, I don't know if there's a way to do it, and maybe in the future they'll do it, but if you could have this show like your flight plan, or this one show your flight plan, and this one have your like approach information already pulled up, so once you were close you could hit the approach mode and then activate that, and then that way you're not having to go between different screens and everything and try to do a bunch of stuff at the same time. But it's okay. I'm sure there's a way to do it, like you could have this one set differently, they're not the same. Or if necessary, the co-pilot could pull up the approach information and activate the approach mode, and then while the captain handles everything else. So, kind of quiet in the chat now. I want to put everybody to sleep, I guess. next marker ahead of us coming up. MCD. Scroll down just a bit just to see. Looking for 2, 3. Oops.
Foggy 167, contact Houston Center.
So
on
caps.
133.5.
If I remember correctly, caps should be the part where we should start descending.
133.5 for Froggy
Yep.
167. Houston Center, Froggy 167, flight level
So right there.
370.
So we get to
Foggy 167, Houston
BJ
Center. Continue to
LEW.
fly Charlie Bravo as planned.
From there we start descending. Right there. And then the next page should be, and we should see, there it is right there. Perfect. And then our approach is right, that one. So once we see that one in sight, we'll activate the approach. And that should get us right to where we need to be. So there we are. That's what we got coming up. Still quite a bit to go, but a lot of the markers are kind of bunched together. So there will be a lot of things kind of happening, you know, somewhat fast. So we're going to try to get ahead of everything and drop our altitude and all that, and be ready for our going into our approach. Now I think, let's see if the Jacksonville has changed their, nope, no weather change. Interesting. Let's pull up Jacksonville. Approach is runway 26 ILS. We need to be at 2,000 feet, so that is all correct. The information in our flight plan there is all legit. So we've validated that. So there we are. Alright, so that's what we got coming up. We're making our way. I think just a short while ago we were at 542 or 552 nautical miles, so we're just plugging along, as I like to say. Do appreciate everybody coming in and hanging out today. It's nice having you all here. Hopefully you've enjoyed the flight so far. If you're getting buffering, I apologize. It says our stream is not maintaining enough video, or not receiving enough video to maintain a smooth stream, which I don't quite understand. Unless it's a problem with the Twitch on the Xbox itself. I don't know, but seems like oh, now it went back to excellent. There we go. Fixed itself. So it looks like I see water over there. So I'm wondering if we are getting close to the Gulf Coast. Let's have a look here. I think we are. Nope. Yes. There it is. The Gulf Coast is right there. So we will get kind of close to it. Not right over it, but we will kind of hug the Gulf coastline there. A little bit closer, but anyway, so that's what we got coming up. So there's a bunch of markers there. Now some of those might be ours, and others it might just be kind of off to the side, but we'll find out once we get closer. But yeah, so we're on our way to Zug Zulu Uniform Golf Tango. And we'll turn again to the left. Track along the bottom there. Perfect, we're back where we need to be for our... Yep. Yeah, everything's going according to plan so far. Knock on fake wood. Coming up on almost 2.5 hours in the stream.
126.8 for Froggy 167. Houston Center, Froggy 167, flight level 370.
Froggy 167 Houston Center, continue to Zugty as planned.
Zugty. Huh. It's just only showing the UGT. Oh, it is. Up here it's only showing the 4 letters. It's 5, really. So yeah, these next ones are kind of close together. Looks like for right now. Let's see, what's the one? Is that 11 nautical miles? I think it is. Yep, 14,557. 20, 11, 25, and then 81. So we got a lot of stuff together, and then short 81 nautical miles to another marker, and then we're gonna. start preparing to get on the ground. So the little ones will kind of come very quickly. And before we know it, we will be at caps and start descending. And prepare for everything. Oh, yeah, there's the clouds over the Gulf of Mexico there. Well, the Texas part of Gulf of Mexico, so I can't really see much of it. Won't be able to see a lot of the coastline. And you can see, if you look through the windows there, if I angle it, there's not much to see because it seems like it's just all empty back there. Now, what I'm going to do is, let's just have a look. Let's showcase it. Try to get a, let's go from over to the other side. Just kind of get close as we can. And just have a look in there and see, because I'm pretty positive there's nothing really back there. Nothing is really rendered in as far as the seats, yeah. Well, you can see maybe there is a bit of the seats there, but it's not very well defined. You know, so let's go have a look at the, there's our engine spinning. Luckily we won't get pulled in there. We'll look at the nose of the aircraft. I don't know what happened yesterday with the sunglasses, but it seemed like it's fixed itself. But that was a bit strange. We pulled into our destination there at Hay River the other day. Yeah, nice little view around the aircraft there. So it seems like it's kind of rendered, but it almost like it's just the seats for the passengers are just like a block shape, you know, dark, to almost like it's a shadow, but it's not very clearly defined. So, which is a shame. I'd like to be able to go back and check out the passenger area. I think everybody got all silent now all of a sudden. Yes, Samilla. What's happening? Sorry, I was just looking up some stuff. Didn't mean to ignore the chat, but yes, what's going on? I'm guessing you have to depart for the day, which is fine. Do what you gotta do. Hey, we're finally talking to Jacksonville Center. That's a good sign. Thank you. Yeah, it's been fun.
Jacksonville
We just gotta
Froggy 167 flight level 370.
just yeah, I'm here. I was just looking up some stuff. So just checking some information, making sure we have our correct. Oh, you'll be in and out. Okay, that's fine. No worries. Yeah, I'm just checking the weather and whatnot to see if there's anything that. We do have a little bit of a wind coming in across the runway slightly. Not much, but just a little bit of a 8-knot wind. Yeah, it's been good. Really enjoyed this. This plane was, like I said earlier when we started, this plane was a bit of a handful to kind of figure out right away. And we've made it. We've got things kind of figured out now. Because sometimes it just takes a little bit of patience to see, we're on our way to CDUB, so I think we can scroll down. There it is. So yeah, we just have to work with it and keep trying things and checking all the stuff, and so yeah, it's worked out rather well. So hopefully we'll put it on the ground nice and easy. I think we've got a fairly decent long enough runway, so if we have to hover a little bit, I think we've got enough room. If we need to give it a little bit more space to settle down.
Froggy 167, contact Jacksonville Center on 120.2. Good day.
So yeah, we've got.
120.2 for Froggy 167.
We're going to be ready to. There's going to be some stuff happening here pretty darn soon. So I think what I'm going to do is take one more quick break, and I'll be right back.
Froggy 167, Jacksonville Center, continue to NC as planned.
All right, here we are.
4.15. Good day.
Going to 13, 4.15, Froggy 167. Jacksonville Center, Froggy 167, flight level 370.
Froggy 167 Jacksonville Center, continue to do as planned.
Let's see if that page scrolls down for us. If not, we'll scroll it down ourselves. Okay. No. There's that marker there. And then I think, let's just have a look here. Still got a little bit more to go. Alright, let's have a look again here. Alright, so we've got 1, 2, 3 markers ahead of us. And then from here to here, we're going to start reducing our altitude. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to go to 270.
Going to 13, 2.1, Froggy 167.
We can't do...
Jacksonville Center, Froggy 167, flight level 370.
We'll just do...
Froggy 167 Jacksonville Center, continue to defund as planned.
Yeah. Let's see. No, wait, we don't want to go that far. We'll go to 30,000 feet first, and then we'll go down to 28. Or 29. Or 20, yeah, we'll go to 28. So that way we're kind of set up, and then we'll keep reducing our altitude from there. So the fun part's coming up, folks. Stay tuned. Now, I think we can kind of see further out here.
Contact Jacksonville Center on 119.1. Good day.
119.1 Froggy 167.
That's kind of what we've got coming up here.
Jacksonville Center, Froggy 167, flight level 370.
Right there.
Froggy 167 Jacksonville Center, continue to Lauren as planned.
Yeah, we got.
Froggy 167, contact Jacksonville Center on 134.3. Good day.
134.3, Froggy 167. Jacksonville Center, Froggy 167, flight level 370.
Froggy 167 Jacksonville Center, continue to choose as planned.
Yeah, we're almost there. We're getting there. It seems like we've been going on for quite some time, but we've only been streaming for 2 hours and 45 minutes, give or take. So, yeah, we're doing quite well. I think we're going to be within that 3.5 hour window, estimated flight time. Give or take, maybe a little bit earlier, maybe just a little past that. So, yeah, good stuff. Hopefully everybody's enjoyed the flight today. If you have, make sure you do leave a thumbs up. Greatly appreciated. If you have already, thank you very much. Alright, here it comes. Let's go ahead and get our ATC window open so we can start asking for our reductions. Once we hit that next marker, alright, there is our first marker right there. We'll wait till we get past that one and we'll start reducing. Okay, well actually, we can go, let's see, we'll go to 30,000.
Jacksonville Center, Froggy 167. Request flight level 300.
Froggy 167 descend and maintain flight level 300.
Descend and maintain flight level 300, Froggy 167.
Froggy 167, contact Jacksonville Center on 135.325. Good day.
135.325, Froggy 167. Jacksonville Center, Froggy 167 is passing flight level 365, descending flight level 300.
Landing gear.
Froggy 167 Jacksonville Center, continue to CAPS as planned.
Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear. gear.
No, we don't need a landing gear.
Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear.
All right. So what we're going to do is once we level off at flight level 300, I'm going to switch this back over to knots and then bring our speed back under, we'll go about 270, and then we'll just reduce it from there each time as we continue to step down in our altitude. Start to level off here in a moment. Hey, fish guns, how are you? Nice to see you here. We are in the final stages of our flight here to Jacksonville. We're starting to reduce our altitude. We'll start reducing our speed and should be on the ground pretty soon. A little bumpy here. Let's switch this to knots. We want that to go to 270. There we go, perfect. And you're just been chilling. Oh, nice. Oh, no worries. Always no worries about chilling in the background. Sometimes that's just the way it is. So it's all good. Let's just go down to 20.
Jacksonville Center, Froggy 167. Request flight level 280.
Froggy 167, descend and maintain flight level 280.
Descend and maintain flight level 280, Froggy 167.
Alright, so at least we are in good shape. We're starting to get ourselves set for our landing. So from caps to we got 1, 2, 3, so 20, 40, 63 nautical miles total until we reach Marco. So we're going to continue to reduce our altitude as necessary. We can probably see the rest of the flight from here. Almost. So basically, this is everything coming up, and then eventually we'll turn, like I said, we're gonna go past the airport. The airport will be on our right. We'll make a right turn in, and we'll be all set. I think we'll go ahead and start. We'll get to 250 here.
Jacksonville Center, Froggy 167. Request flight level 240.
Froggy 167, descend and maintain flight level 240.
Descend and maintain flight level 240, Froggy 167.
Alright, there's that. So we're going to go down another 4,000 feet here. Get our... Get down there with the quickness. Just to make sure we are... Stay ahead of the curve here.
Froggy 167, contact Jacksonville Center on 133.7. Good day.
133.7 for Froggy 167. Jacksonville Center, Froggy 167 is passing flight level 260, descending flight level 240.
Froggy 167 Jacksonville Center, continue to north as planned.
All right. It's a beautiful. Oh yes, yeah. I love the Jackson river area right there in Jacksonville. Spent some time down there when I come down from Savannah. So yeah, we're gonna. I think our approach is gonna take us out over the coast, Florida, and then back into Jacksonville, if I remember correctly. I don't know if we'll see like downtown, because I think the downtown proper's south of the airport. Because I used to drive by the airport, and then it was like another 30 minutes or so from the airport to downtown. Alright, there we are, 240. What's the next one? Oh, another decrease by 4,000 feet.
Jacksonville Center, Froggy 167. Request flight level 200.
Froggy 167 descend and maintain flight level 200. Keep speed not above 280 knots.
No, we're okay there because we're at
Descend and
250.
maintain flight level 200. Keep speed not above 280 knots. Froggy 167.
Yeah, well, what, in Savannah, you mean? Yeah, I lived there. Well, I didn't live near Savannah until 2010, 11? 2011. Yeah. I was a little bit closer to downtown, but, yeah. Spent plenty of time in Savannah, though. All right, so if we look at our next marker there, we need to be at 15,000 feet. Actually, we'll just go for 14,000 right there. So once we get there, I'll ask for 14, so 6,000 foot reduction. That way we're kind of ahead of the curve, and we're just gonna kind of just we'll descend, but we won't go like 2,000 feet per second or whatever. We're gonna kind of just take our time getting there if we can. But it may say go to 15 and then expect 14. We'll see. Oh no! I used to visit Jacksonville quite a bit. I wish I lived there, but no. 024. No, just used to visit quite a bit. That's all. So once I plug the 6,000 reduction, we'll yeah, so let's ask for 14,000 here. And I'm going to make one more break. Take one more break, and then we'll be good to go.
Froggy 167 descend and maintain 14,000
There we go.
feet.
Descend and maintain 14,000 feet. Froggy 167.
All right. All right. I'm going to step away again real quick, folks. I'll be right back. Okay, here we are. So we're below 18,000 feet. So I'm going to dial in our altimeter 3024. Let me just double check that. Yep. Should be. All right, 3024. Try there first, and then we'll change it once we get an updated altimeter reading from Jacksonville Center. But I think we're right on target, but it may be plus or minus a few. So interesting. We had our first pole dancer in the chat today. Good times. All right, so we should have another reduction coming up. Oh, that's when we have to be at 14. Okay, so we're good to go. All right, so let's scroll down just a bit more here, just to see what's coming up ahead. There we go, perfect. So 7,000, wow, that's a lot. Okay. Once we level off at 14, I'm going to go to 210, just so that we're ahead of that as well. We only have three different settings for the flaps, so oops, I think we were off on the altimeter reading. It hasn't stopped descending. Oops a daisy. I think I have to, oops. Nope. We gotta go the other way. Oh, there we go. Didn't. That's why. Maybe it may be too early. Oh crap! We got to get down to 7,000.
Froggy 167, contact Jacksonville Center on 132.3. Good day.
132.3 for Froggy 167. Jacksonville Center, Froggy 167, 13,900 feet.
Froggy
Well, no,
167,
yeah.
Jacksonville Center, altimeter tree 0.27, continue to Guias as planned.
Jacksonville Center, Froggy 167. Request 7,000 feet.
Froggy 167, descend and maintain 7,000 feet. Keep speed not above 250 knots.
Landing gear. Landing gear.
Descend and maintain 7,000 feet. Keep speed not above 250 knots. Froggy 167.
All right. All right, so we're almost there. So just to kind of recap on some things. So there's the airport to our right, our front right there. I'll zoom out here just a bit. And basically that's what we got left to do right there. So we will be on the ground
Froggy 167, contact Jacksonville Center
very
on
soon.
126.75. Good day.
Going to 126.75, Froggy 167. Jacksonville Center, Froggy 167 is passing 11,600 feet, descending 7,000 feet.
Froggy 167, Jacksonville Center, altimeter tree 0.25, continue to GWIID as planned. Froggy 167, contact Jacksonville approach on 121.3. Good day.
121.3, Froggy 167. Jacksonville approach Froggy 167 is at 10,600 feet, descending 7,000 feet.
Froggy 167, Jacksonville approach, altimeter tree 0.25, continue to Guias as planned.
Wheeze. I thought it was going to be gee whiz. So good. Alright, let's get our landing lights on. course, we like to be a well-lit plane when we come in. So let's just double check our... ILS 2,000 feet. Okay, so we're gonna have some more reduction here. Let's go. We need to do another 2,000 feet.
Jacksonville approach, Froggy 167. Request 5,000 feet.
Froggy 167, descend and maintain 7,000 feet. Expect 5,000 feet. Keep speed not above 210 knots.
Descend and maintain 7,000 feet. Expect 5,000 feet. Keep speed not above 210 knots. Froggy 167.
Froggy 167, descend and maintain 5,000 feet.
Descend and maintain 5,000 feet. Froggy 167.
There we go. So yeah, it looks like we're going to go out over the water just a bit and then come back in. So there's our airport right there. Our runway is just running left to right, not the one that's kind of angled out, but the one that's running perpendicular to us, I believe is the correct term, if I remember my terminology correctly there. So that is runway 26. It's off the front nose of the aircraft there, right there, about there. Thereabouts. I think see that says 40 4350. Alright, so we need to go to 4,000 feet.
Jacksonville approach, Froggy 167. Request 4,000 feet.
Froggy 167, descend and maintain 4,000 feet.
Descend and maintain 4,000 feet. Froggy 167.
We need to slow down even more. As soon as we got to get down to at least 180. I'm kind of going very fast for this altitude.
Landing gear. 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 Landing gear.
All right, so
Froggy 167, you are 10 miles northeast. Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect vectors ILS runway 26 approach.
crusty salute to Jacksonville.
Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect vectors ILS runway 26 approach. Froggy 167.
right, so basically what's going to happen here, once we come around, eventually we're going to get down to 2,000 feet. We're going to follow this track around, and then just kind of get you. So that is our approach. That's where we're supposed to be at for our to activate the approach. Should be, yep. We'll go ahead and put the landing gear down. We're going to slow down to 180. Drop some more flaps. There we go. So coming around here. There's Fernandina Beach, which we're right over the Amelia Island, where the Amelia Island Concours d'Elegance is held each year. High-end car show. Very fancy, very posh, they like to say. I would say whatever your budget can handle. Just know that I would start with just the basic and just get to kind of get the feel for the game, I guess. I wouldn't go too far beyond that. I would just get the basic game. Because there's plenty of stuff, and you don't have to pay for anything for that, because if you have the Game Pass, it doesn't cost you anything. So I would try that first. And then if you want to add, but some people say just get the high end, because if you want to add more later on, it's going to cost you more. But I would say whatever your budget can handle. So, all right, let me get down here to 2,000 feet, because we gotta
maintain 2,000 feet.
We gotta
Tower on
get down there
118
quick.
decimal tree, Froggy 167. Jacksonville Tower, Froggy 16715 miles northeast, inbound ILS runway 26 approach.
Froggy 167 Jacksonville Tower. Altimeter tree 0.26, wind 237 at 14. Cleared ILS, runway 26 approach.
Cleared ILS runway 26 approach, Froggy 167.
But yeah, that's all. My advice always is to buy what you feel that you can afford, and no more than that. All right, I think we are set on our speed. We're at our altitude just about. I'm going to turn in. I'm going to try to hit the approach mode once we turn in completely. And it should bring us in. Should be in the keyword. If not, I'm going to turn this approach mode off, activate the approach, and then try it again. Actually, let's go ahead and try it now. Okay, it says GP is lit up. It's white, so I think we are... There it goes. All right, I think we're good. It's turning. It's turning. Come on, lock in. We might be a little bit early, but we're on the right path. I got the Game Pass version. I was just thinking about. Yeah, I don't. It's. I still say just get what you can afford to get, or you could just add planes as you want. You could just buy them separately, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So I think you're going to be fine. It's a personal choice, really. I still say whatever you think your budget can afford, then go with that. You know, it's a personal choice, really, I think. All right, I think we are all set. We're just waiting for the GS to turn green. Once we have that, we are definitely good to go. We've got all of our flaps down. Our speed is good. So I think we are set for success on this flight. If not, we're in good shape regardless. So I think we're okay for getting on the ground safely one way or the other, whether we get the ILS to engage. And I think it will engage once we get to our next marker, which is Dalton, basically, DALTN. There it goes. All right, we are locked in. Yes! Ta-da! I love it. I like it a lot. There we are. We are on our way. Good stuff. All right, so what's going to happen next is we're going to go in, we're going to get over the runway roughly. I want to disengage the autopilot, and then I'm going to also have to disengage the auto throttle, and then we're going to have to throttle back. We're going to land reverse. I think there's a reverse thrust. If not, we're going to hit the speed flaps, the speed brakes, and then we're all set. All right, there's everything. We have our flaps down, gears down, lights are on. We are all set. Here we go. Finally making it to Jacksonville. It's been a great flight. 3.5, just about 3.5 hours. So I think our flight time is just going to be just shy of that. But we'll see once we get to the gate and shut everything down. So yeah, it's gone very well. This has been way better than I expected it to be. So, good stuff. You just never know sometimes if you have to engage the approach or if it's already set, you just come up, line up, and then hit the approach mode and it just takes over. It's very difficult sometimes to determine what's going to happen and when. Okay, there's that. Actually, I think I'm going to go ahead and disengage the auto throttle now, because we're going to throttle back from here. Oops, a little bit of glide. Little bump. That's okay. We did it. We got it. And there we are, folks. On behalf of myself and the entire flight crew, we'd like to welcome you to Jacksonville, Florida. Local time is 9:58 in the morning. We know that you have a plethora, so many options when it comes to your Microsoft Flight Simulator live stream viewing pleasures. We are glad that you chose to fly with us today. Do join us tomorrow in the Supermarine Spitfire. We're going from Mississippi to Tennessee. Medgar Evers International to Nashville International.
Foggy 167 exit, runway when able.
So do join us for that. Thank you. We need to disengage that. Oop, yep, disarm. We'll pull off here. We're going to talk to ground, get our parking assignment, and we'll be all set, all done. Yeah, great flight. Really enjoyed this one. It was a lot of fun flying this one. Again, sometimes you just don't know what's going to work and what's not going to work, and everything worked fantastic. So, great success. Real nice.
Froggy 167, contact ground on 121.9er.
121.9er for Froggy 167. Jacksonville ground, Froggy 167 taxi to parking.
Froggy 167 taxi to general aviation parking via taxiway Bravo Delta.
There we go.
Taxi
Right there.
to general aviation parking via taxiway Bravo Delta, Froggy 167.
Yeah, it was really good. Really enjoyed this flight. Right, this plane was, when I first tried it, I was just like, man, I could not get this plane figured out. But the great thing is in this sim, if you just kind of take a step back and look at what's really happening and look at what you're doing, generally you'll find that the answers will come to you and you're like, oh, I should have done this, this, and this instead of this other stuff. And then the problem's generally solved. So yeah, just take some time and some experience and patience. That's the main thing. So yeah, great flight. Really enjoyed this. We have our 2 flights set up for the 4th of March. London City to Manchester International and Cincinnati to Shelbyville Municipal. Cincinnati West, I should say. So we'll have 2 flights on the 4th. Those should be very good. One's about an hour and a half. The other one's about an hour. So that we'll get 2 viewers taken care of. So if you have one in mind, be ready for the 4th. We'll ask for the one for the 11th. And then on the 11th, we'll ask for the one for the 18th. And then let me just double check my calendar here. So 11, 18, 25th will be our next long distance flight. I think this one worked rather well. It was just perfectly amount of time to do a stream for today. So, yeah, 3.5 hours roughly already. So, yeah, worked out very well. Sorry, you can probably hear the banging in the background. They're clearing the parking lot of this little bit of snow we got last night. So somebody's doing all that. So if you hear that, that's what it is. We're going to go ahead and turn our landing lights off at least. Don't need those now. We are on the ground. We'll leave the taxi lights on. I think that Fernandina Beach where we flew over, that is part of that airfield is used for parking for the Concours d'Elegance for the general public. For most people who are there to take part in the auctions and all that, they usually stay at the fancy hotel there where the concourse is hosted, and so yeah, it's not too bad of a price. And then they have a free shuttle think it was like $5 to park, and then they have a shuttle that will take you to the main entrance of the concourse. So if you need to buy tickets, you can get those there. Otherwise, you're just going to have to mill around and wait for the field to open up to the general public. Oh, it was like, there's a little. Oh, that's kind of odd. Looks like we're having to go all the way on the other side of the airport. That's okay. Good times. We get to see Jacksonville International here. And yeah, and then some of the folks who folks who are judges and whatnot, or the honorary driver will generally fly into that airport, and they'll have like their Cessna Citation or whatever, and they'll fly in for the weekend, and then they'll leave pretty much either late Sunday evening or early Monday morning for their next destination. Oh, real quick, no significant updates really to the marketplace yesterday. No planes or anything of note. There was a few. There was a livery pack for the A320 from just for simmers, so that's probably the only thing noteworthy. So bit of a disappointment, but it is what it is. So just in case, I've forgot to mention that before. We'll pull it in over here, park it, shut everything down, and we will be done for last Friday of February. It's gone fast, hasn't it? Now, April 1st, I know it's April Fool's Day, there probably will not be a stream that day either. I have a procedure that I have to get taken care of on that day. Won't really bore you or gore you out with the details, but got to get that done. So no stream that day, and maybe not. Well, let's just say the 1st and the 2nd. No stream on the 1st and 2nd of April, just to be on the safe side. So we'll be back on the 3rd of April once we're done with March. But I'll remind everybody later on in March, but just to be safe. Saying in advance as we're already pretty much done with February. We are. I think we are right on the line. We are right on the line. I like it. Gonna give a little bit more gas just to get. Oh, wasn't enough. Come on. Just scoot forward just a little bit more. There you go. There you go. Come on. This thing is very touchy. There it is. I don't know why we're getting a warning light, but all right, let's shut her down. And it's thinking. 3 hours and 15 minutes. We actually did much better. We were within the 3.5 hour window. We cut 15 minutes off, it looks like. So we picked up a little bit of speed along the way, either that or because I kept the speed up a little bit more than I should have when we were coming in. we picked up a little bit of time. So there we are, folks. Thank you all so much for coming in today. Great to have you all here. Great flight, great company. So I will see you all tomorrow. Supermarine Spitfire, Mississippi to Tennessee. So do join us for that. 6:30 Eastern, 11:30 UK. I will see you all then. Enjoy the rest of your Friday morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where you are in the world, or maybe it's already Saturday morning. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace. Live long and prosper.